on. All right, let's dive a little deeper into this 1978 Chevrolet Corvette that's up for grabs on Craigslist. As a car enthusiast, I know how exciting it can be to come across a classic sports car like this one, especially at a price point of just $13,000. However, it's crucial that we take a closer look at the details provided by the seller to ensure that we're making an informed decision. First off, let's talk about the odometer. The seller has been upfront about the fact that it's broken, which means we can't verify the actual mileage of the car. This isn't necessarily a deal breaker, but it does mean that you'll need to rely on other factors to determine the overall condition of the vehicle. It's always a good idea to have a trusted mechanic inspect the car before making a purchase, especially when dealing with a classic like this one. On the positive side, the seller mentions that the original motor, transmission, and rear axle have all been rebuilt. This is a significant selling point, as it suggests that the car has been well maintained and that some of the most critical components have been updated. The seller also states that the car drives excellent, which is encouraging news for anyone looking to take this Vetta out on the open road. Another interesting aspect of this listing is that the seller is open to trading for a side-by-side. If you happen to have one that you're looking to offload, this could be a unique opportunity to make a deal. Just be sure to carefully consider the value of both the Corvette and the side-by-side to ensure that you're getting a fair trade. When it comes to the overall condition of the car, the seller doesn't provide a ton of details in the listing. They don't mention anything about rust, the interior condition, or any other potential issues. This is where your due diligence comes in. Be sure to ask plenty of questions and request additional photos if necessary. If possible, try to see the car in person before making any commitments. In conclusion, while there are some unknowns with this 1978 Chevrolet Corvette, it does seem like a potentially exciting opportunity for the right buyer. The rebuilt components and excellent driving condition are definite positives, but the broken odometer and lack of detailed information about the car's overall condition mean that you'll need to proceed with caution. As with any classic car purchase, be sure to do your research, ask plenty of questions, and have a trusted mechanic inspect the vehicle before making a final decision. With a little bit of due diligence, you could be the proud owner of a piece of American automotive history. 2. We've got a real treat for you. A stunning 1965 Ford Thunderbird that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $2,500. This iconic American classic is a true head-turner, and it's easy to see why. First off, let's talk about the condition of this beauty. The seller mentions that it's in good shape, both mechanically and cosmetically. The Arcadian blue exterior has a few paint chips, which is to be expected for a car of this age, but overall, it seems to be in excellent condition. The white metallic vinyl upholstery inside the cabin looks clean and well maintained, adding to the car's overall appeal. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 390 V8 engine that's sure to provide plenty of thrills out on the open road. The automatic transmission is said to be smooth, making for a comfortable and enjoyable driving experience. The seller also mentions that the car has low mileage, which is always a plus when it comes to classic vehicles. One of the standout features of this particular Thunderbird is the addition of some modern conveniences, such as a retro-sound Bluetooth stereo, new speakers, and power windows. These upgrades make it easier to enjoy your favorite tunes while cruising down the highway, all while maintaining the classic look and feel of the car. Of course, it's important to keep in mind that this is a classic car, and as such, it may require more maintenance and care than a newer vehicle. However, for the right enthusiast, the opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history like this 1965 Thunderbird is well worth the effort. The seller is asking $12,500 for this beauty, which seems like a fair price considering its condition and the upgrades that have been made. If you're in the market for a classic car that's sure to turn heads and provide plenty of enjoyment out on the road, this 1965 Ford Thunderbird is definitely worth considering. As with any vehicle purchase, be sure to do your due diligence before making a final decision. Ask the seller plenty of questions, request additional photos if needed, and consider having a trusted mechanic inspect the car to ensure that it's in good working order. In conclusion, this 1965 Ford Thunderbird is a stunning example of classic American craftsmanship and design. With its powerful engine, smooth automatic transmission, and modern upgrades, it's the perfect choice for anyone looking to experience the thrill of driving a vintage car while still enjoying some modern conveniences. So, if you're ready to step back in time and enjoy the ride of your life, be sure to check out this amazing 1965 Thunderbird on Craigslist today. 3. We've got a real gem for you, a 1979 Chrysler 300 that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $12,000. This classic American luxury car is a true testament to the craftsmanship and style of the era, and it's sure to turn heads wherever it goes. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this beauty. The seller mentions that it's in good shape overall, with a rust-free body except for the trunk lid. That's pretty impressive for a car that's over 40 years old. The white paint job looks clean and classic, adding to the car's timeless appeal. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 360 V8 engine that's sure to provide plenty of get up and go. The automatic transmission is said to be in good working order, making for a smooth and comfortable driving experience. And with just 78,000 miles on the odometer, this car has plenty of life left in it. One of the standout features of this particular Chrysler 300 is the full gauge package, which includes a tachometer and a working clock. These little details add to the car's overall charm and make it feel like a true time capsule from the late 70s. The bucket seats and console are also nice touches that give the interior a sporty and luxurious feel. The seller mentions that the car has many new parts, which is always a plus when it comes to classic vehicles. It's clear that this Chrysler 300 has been well maintained over the years, and it shows in the car's overall condition. Now, it's important to keep in mind that this is a classic car, and as such, it may require more maintenance and care than a newer vehicle. However, for the right enthusiast, the opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history like this 1979 Chrysler 300 is well worth the effort. The seller is asking $12,000 for this beauty, which seems like a fair price considering its condition and the fact that it's rust-free, aside from the trunk lid. If you're in the market for a classic car that's sure to turn heads and provide plenty of enjoyment out on the road, this 1979 Chrysler 300 is definitely worth considering. As with any vehicle purchase, be sure to do your due diligence before making a final decision. Ask the seller plenty of questions, request additional photos if needed, and consider having a trusted mechanic inspect the car to ensure that it's in good working order. In conclusion, this 1979 Chrysler 300 is a stunning example of classic American luxury and style. With its powerful engine, smooth automatic transmission, and well-maintained condition, it's the perfect choice for anyone looking to experience the thrill of driving a vintage car. So, if you're ready to step back in time and enjoy the ride of your life, be sure to check out this amazing 1979 Chrysler 300 on Craigslist today. 4. We've got a real treat for you. A 1985 Pontiac Firebird that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $5,750, and let me tell you, it's a steal. First off, let's talk about the condition of this Firebird. The seller describes it as being in good shape, and with only 100,432 miles on the odometer, it's clear that this car has been well taken care of. In fact, the seller mentions that it was basically garaged for most of its life, which is a testament to how much the previous owner cherished this ride. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 305 5.0-liter V8 engine that's paired with an automatic transmission. This combo is sure to provide plenty of thrills when you hit the gas. And speaking of hitting the road, You'll be glad to know that this Firebird has a clean title, so you won't have to worry about any legal issues. One of the coolest features of this car is the T-top, which allows you to open up the roof and let the wind blow through your hair as you cruise down the highway. And when the weather gets chilly, you'll appreciate the new heater core that's been installed. Other recent upgrades include a new alternator, spark plugs, and headlights, so you can rest assured that this Firebird has been well maintained. And if you're someone who loves to blast their tunes, you'll be happy to know that this car has a great sound system with Bluetooth connectivity. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A car this awesome must have some catch, right? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that there's no AC. But hey, that's what the T-top is for. And if you're looking to trade in your current ride, sorry, but the seller is only interested in cash offers. Overall, this 1985 Pontiac Firebird is a fantastic deal at just $5,750. It's a car that's been cherished and well maintained, and it's got plenty of features that make it a joy to drive. So if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car, don't hesitate to check out this Firebird before someone else snatches it up. 5. We're taking a closer look at a 1980 Buick Riviera that's currently for sale on Craigslist, and let me tell you, this is one sweet ride. First things first, can we talk about that mileage? This Riviera has only clocked 56,000 original miles, which is incredibly low for a car that's over 4 decades old. You can tell that this beauty has been cherished and well maintained by its previous owners. Under the hood, you'll find a dependable 350 V8 engine that's paired with an automatic transmission, providing a smooth and powerful ride. And with front-wheel drive, you'll have plenty of control and stability on the road. Step inside, and you'll be greeted by a luxurious leather interior that's just begging you to sink into it. This Riviera also comes nicely equipped with a padded Landau top, AM/FM stereo, power antenna, windows, and locks, as well as cruise control. It's got all the creature comforts you could want in a classic ride. But the real kicker? This Riviera has just received some serious TLC. It's got 4 new tires, new belts, and has just undergone a fresh oil change and going over by a certified mechanic. This car is ready to hit the road and turn some heads. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A 44-year-old car must have some issues, right? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that the AC does need a conversion, and the power windows can be a bit fussy. But overall, this is a very solid vehicle that runs and drives like a dream. And can we just take a moment to appreciate that classic white exterior? It's the perfect shade for a car of this caliber, and it's sure to stand out in a crowd. So, what's the damage? The seller is asking $6,900 or a reasonable offer, which I think is a pretty fair price for a car of this quality. And with only cash, in-person deals accepted, you know the seller is serious about finding the right buyer for this beauty. In conclusion, if you're in the market for a classic ride that's been well loved and maintained, this 1980 Buick Riviera is definitely worth checking out. With its low mileage, luxurious features, and recent upgrades, it's a car that's sure to provide plenty of joy and nostalgia for years to come. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. 6. We've got a real blast from the past, a 1973 Plymouth Scamp that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic ride can be yours for just $3,800, but as always, let's dive into the details to see what we're really working with. First off, let's talk about the good stuff. Under the hood, you'll find a slant 6 motor paired with an automatic transmission. For those who don't know, the slant 6 is a reliable and efficient engine that's known for its durability. So, if you're looking for a classic car that's got some pep in its step, this Scamp might just fit the bill. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the condition. The seller is upfront about the fact that this Scamp has been parked for a long time, and it shows. The gas tank needs to be installed, and the car is in desperate need of a full tune-up. But hey, If you're a handy person who loves a good project, this could be a great opportunity to bring a classic car back to life. One thing that's definitely working in this scamp's favor is the odometer reading. With just 96,800 miles on the clock, this car has plenty of life left in it. And with a clean title and up-to-date registration, you won't have to worry about any legal hassles when you take ownership. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what about the price? Well, $3,800 might seem like a lot for a car that needs work, but hear me out. This is a classic Plymouth Scamp we're talking about, a piece of automotive history that's getting harder and harder to find. And with some elbow grease and a bit of love, this car could be a real head-turner. Of course, the seller is firm on the price. No lowballers allowed. But if you're serious about taking on a project car and you've got the cash to spare, this Scamp is definitely worth considering. So, there you have it. A 1973 Plymouth Scamp with a slant 6 engine, automatic transmission, and a whole lot of potential. It might not be in perfect condition, but with some hard work and dedication, this classic ride could be the pride and joy of any car enthusiast's collection. If you're up for the challenge, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and make an offer. Who knows? You might just drive away with a piece of automotive history. 7. We've got a real treat for you. A 1985 Chevrolet El Camino that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic ride is priced at just $4,250. But before you pull the trigger, let's take a closer look at what we're dealing with. First off, let's talk about the heart of this beast, a 305 V8 engine that's sure to get your blood pumping. The seller reports that the El Camino runs and drives great, which is always a good sign. Plus, they've recently invested in some new parts, including a heater core, distributor, cap and rotor, battery, plugs and wires, water pump, and radiator. So, you can rest assured that this car has been well maintained. But, as with any classic car, there are some issues to be aware of. The seller notes that there is some surface rust, which is pretty common for a vehicle of this age. Additionally, not all of the gauges on the instrument panel are working, and the check engine light is on. While these issues aren't necessarily deal breakers, they are something to keep in mind. Now here's where things get a bit concerning. The seller found some metal shavings in the oil. This could be a sign of a more serious problem, like engine damage or excessive wear. If you're seriously considering this El Camino, I'd recommend getting a thorough inspection from a trusted mechanic before making any decisions. On the bright side, the El Camino has a clean title and is currently registered until November, so you won't have to worry about any legal hassles if you decide to take the plunge. Overall, this 1985 Chevrolet El Camino is a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, it's got a powerful engine and has received some recent upgrades. On the other hand, there are some concerning issues that can't be ignored. If you're a skilled mechanic or you're up for a project, this could be a great opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. But if you're looking for a turnkey classic that you can drive off into the sunset, you might want to keep looking. At the end of the day, the decision is yours. But if you do decide to take a closer look at this El Camino, be sure to go in with your eyes wide open and your wallet ready for some potential repairs. With a little bit of love and elbow grease, this classic ride could be the pride and joy of any car enthusiast's collection. 8. We've got an absolute gem of a find, a 1977 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is not your average classic car. First off, can we talk about that mileage? With only 68,300 miles on the odometer, this Camaro is practically a baby in the world of classic cars. And the best part? It's got a fresh 383-stroker V8 motor upgrade that was done just 6 years ago. That means you'll have plenty of power under the hood to get your heart racing. But the upgrades don't stop there. This Camaro also has a fresh 2.5-inch dual exhaust system that sounds absolutely incredible. It's got that perfect balance of being loud enough to turn heads, but still mild enough to not wake up the neighbors? And can we take a moment to appreciate those factory Z28 wheels? They're in fantastic condition and are wrapped in brand new tires, so you won't have to worry about any unexpected blowouts. The brakes are also in great shape, so you can feel confident hitting the road in this beauty. Step inside, and you'll find an interior that's all stock and in amazing condition. There are no cracks in the dash, and the door panels are looking great. It's clear that this Camaro has been well loved and cared for over the years. Now here's the really exciting part. This Camaro is a true backwoods find. You don't come across cars like this very often, especially not in this condition. And with vintage cars like this becoming more and more sought after, this Camaro is a real investment vehicle that's only going to appreciate in value over time. And if you're in the area, you won't want to miss the Street Rod Summer Nationals that are coming to town on July 19th and 20th. This Camaro would be the perfect car to bring to the event and show off to all your fellow car enthusiasts. So, what's the damage? The seller is asking $14,500 for this beauty, which I think is a pretty fair price considering the condition and upgrades. And with a clean title, you won't have to worry about any legal hassles when you take ownership. In conclusion, if you're in the market for a classic car that's got plenty of power, style, and history, this 1977 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 is definitely worth checking out. With its low mileage, fresh upgrades, and amazing condition, it's a car that's sure to turn heads and appreciate in value over time. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. 9. We're taking a closer look at a 1969 Chevrolet Impala that's currently for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is one classic ride that's sure to turn some heads. First things first, let's talk about the specs. Under the hood, you'll find a 327 CID engine that's paired with a Road Demon carb and a Power Glide transmission. And with dual pipes and glass packs, this Impala has a sound that's sure to make any car lover weak in the knees. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A 55-year-old car must be in rough shape, right? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that this Impala does need a little work. But hey, who doesn't at 55? The good news is that the car drives well and is in good overall shape. The seller mentions that it might need a new right-side exhaust manifold gasket and maybe a respray, but that's just part of the charm of owning a classic car. And can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this Impala has only had 3 owners in its lifetime? The current seller purchased it back in 2004 when it had just 68K miles on the clock. Today, it's sitting at a respectable 85K miles, which means there's plenty of life left in this old girl. But the real kicker? This Impala is a true survivor. It's been cruising the streets of the Pacific Northwest for over half a century, and it's still going strong. Sure, it might need a little TLC here and there, but that's just part of the journey when you own a classic car. And let's not forget about the style. This Impala is a 4-door sport sedan, which means it's got plenty of room for you and your friends to cruise in comfort. And with a custom paint job, it's sure to stand out in a crowd. So, what's the damage? The seller is asking $8,000 for this beauty, which I think is a pretty fair price for a car with this much history and character. And with a clean title, you won't have to worry about any legal hassles when you take ownership. In conclusion, if you're in the market for a classic ride that's got plenty of style, character, and a little bit of sass, this 1969 Chevrolet Impala is definitely worth checking out. With its powerful engine, classic sound, and survivor status, it's a car that's sure to provide plenty of joy and nostalgia for years to come. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to give it the TLC it needs to keep on ticking for another 55 years. 10. We've got a real treat for you. A 1966 Chrysler 300 that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $6,000, but before you pull the trigger, let's take a closer look at what we're dealing with. First off, let's talk about the heart of this beast. A rebuilt 383 engine that's sure to get your blood pumping. The seller has also invested in some new tires, carpet, and a recovered back seat so you can cruise in style and comfort. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. A car that's been parked for over 20 years must be in rough shape. And while the seller does recommend trailering it, they also note that the car is in good condition overall. Sure, the original front buckets are in rough shape, but the seller has replaced them with new ones. One thing to keep in mind is that the seller had a bit of a struggle getting the title in their name. But the good news is that they finally have a clean title, so you won't have to worry about any legal hassles when you take ownership. Now, here's where things get a bit tricky. The seller is extremely hard of hearing, so they prefer to communicate via text. But don't let that deter you from reaching out if you're seriously interested in this classic ride. And if you're hoping to trade in your current vehicle for this Chrysler 300, I'm afraid you're out of luck. The seller is only interested in cash offers at this time. Overall, this 1966 Chrysler 300 is a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, it's got a rebuilt engine, new tires, and some fresh interior upgrades. On the other hand, it's been parked for a long time and may need some additional work to get it road ready. But if you're a skilled mechanic or you're up for a project, this could be a great opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. 11. We've got a real blast from the past, a 1965 Chevrolet Corvair that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic convertible is priced at just $7,900, and let me tell you, it's a real head-turner. First off, let's talk about the specs. Under the hood, you'll find a 110 horsepower flat 6-cylinder engine that's paired with an automatic transmission. That means you'll have plenty of power to cruise around town with the top down and the wind in your hair. And speaking of the top, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this is a convertible? There's nothing quite like the feeling of driving a classic car with the top down on a sunny day. And with an odometer reading of just 55,000 miles, this Corvair has plenty of life left in it. But the real kicker? The interior is in great shape, and the car is rocking some factory rims that are sure to turn heads. And with a clean title, you won't have to worry about any legal hassles when you take ownership. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. A car from 1965 must have some issues, right? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that this Corvair is in good condition overall. They note that it runs well and is ready for some fun in the sun. Of course, with any classic car, there may be some minor issues that need to be addressed. But if you're handy with a wrench or you know a good mechanic, these shouldn't be too difficult to tackle. Overall, this 1965 Chevrolet Corvair is a real gem. It's got a classic look, a powerful engine, and a convertible top that's perfect for cruising on a sunny day. And at just $7,900, it's a bargain compared to some other classic cars on the market. So, if you're in the market for a vintage ride that's sure to turn heads and put a smile on your face, this Corvair is definitely worth checking out. Just imagine yourself cruising down the road, feeling the wind in your hair and the sun on your face. It's the kind of experience that every car enthusiast should have at least once in their life. 12. We've got a real gem on our hands, a 1974 AMC Javelin that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic muscle car is priced at $9,500, and let me tell you, it's got a lot of potential. First off, let's talk about the body. The seller notes that it's solid overall, with just some typical rust bubbles on the rear bottom quarters. But hey, that's to be expected with a car that's almost 50 years old. The good news is that this Javelin has always been in the Southwest, so it's been spared from the harsh winters that can really take a toll on a car's body. Moving on to the interior, it's clear that this Javelin has been well cared for over the years. The original factory shift console is still intact, and all the glass is in very good condition. The windshield has a few minor issues, but nothing that can't be easily fixed. And can we just take a moment to appreciate that original Tic Tac dashboard with a new lens? It's the little details like that that really make this car special. Under the hood, you'll find a 360 engine that runs, but admittedly needs a rebuild. However, the seller has already made some upgrades, including a new Edelbrock air gap manifold, PowerMaster mini starter, and Mallory Unilite distributor. Plus, there are plenty of custom chrome pieces that really make the engine pop. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What about the paint? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that the clear coat is lifting in spots, so it definitely needs a new paint job. But hey, that just means you can customize it to your liking. Other recent upgrades include a differential inspection and service with a new custom ribbed cover, new rear bumper, and a brake service with a new master cylinder. The seller also notes that the electrical system may need a new fuse block, but that's a relatively easy fix. One thing that really sets this Javelin apart is the fact that it comes with all the original literature. That's a rare find for a car of this age, and it's clear that the seller has taken great care to preserve this car's history. Now, I know the price tag of $9,500 might seem a bit steep for a car that needs some work. But when you consider the potential of this Javelin and the fact that it comes with a clean California title and no back fees to the DMV, it's actually a pretty solid deal. The seller does note that they're selling under duress due to being laid off from their job at 65, which is definitely a tough situation to be in. But their loss could be your gain if you're in the market for a classic muscle car with a ton of potential. So, if you're ready to take on a project car that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing, this 1974 AMC Javelin is definitely worth checking out. Just imagine cruising down the road in this beauty, feeling the rumble of that 360 engine under the hood. It's the kind of experience that every car enthusiast dreams of. 13. We're diving into a classic beauty that's up for grabs on Craigslist, a 1970 Oldsmobile Delta 88. This vintage ride is currently listed at a price of $5,000, and it's ready for a new owner to take the wheel. Now, let's talk about the condition of this Delta 88. The seller mentions that it's in good condition, which is promising. However, it's important to keep in mind that good can mean different things to different people, especially when it comes to a car that's over 50 years old. It's always a good idea to inspect the vehicle in person and ask for more details about its history and any potential issues. One thing to note is that the original rims are no longer on the car, which could be a drawback for some collectors who value originality. But fear not, because the seller assures us that this Delta 88 has all the potential. With a little TLC and perhaps some new rims, this classic could be a real head-turner on the road. Under the hood, you'll find a mighty 8-cylinder engine, which is a testament to the power and performance that Oldsmobile was known for back in the day. The car runs on gas, and the odometer reads 150,000 miles. While that may seem like a lot, it's not uncommon for well-maintained classic cars to have higher mileage. The title status is listed as clean, which is a good sign. It means that there are no major issues or discrepancies with the car's ownership history. The transmission is automatic, making it a breeze to drive and enjoy. Overall, this 1970 Oldsmobile Delta 88 seems like a solid choice for anyone looking to own a piece of American automotive history. With its good condition, clean title, and potential for restoration, it could be a rewarding project for the right enthusiast. Just remember to do your due diligence, ask plenty of questions, and maybe even bring along a mechanic friend to check it out before making a decision. So if you've got $5,000 burning a hole in your pocket and a love for classic cars, this Delta 88 might just be the ride of your dreams. 14. We've got a real treat for you. A stunning 1967 Cadillac Devil that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at $12,000, and let me tell you, it might just be worth every penny. First off, let's talk about the condition of this DeVille. The seller describes it as excellent, and based on the details provided, it seems like they're not exaggerating. The car has undergone some serious restoration work, with new upholstery, seats, and dash. That means you'll be riding in style and comfort, surrounded by fresh materials that give the interior a luxurious feel. But it's not just the inside that's impressive. The seller also mentions that there's no rust or body damage on this Cadillac. That's a huge plus for a car that's over 50 years old. It's clear that this DeVille has been well cared for and protected from the elements. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. The car runs on gas, and the odometer shows just 44,000 miles. While it's possible that the odometer has rolled over, the low mileage is still a testament to the car's potential longevity. The title status is listed as clean, which is always a good sign. It means that there are no major issues or discrepancies with the car's ownership history. And with the title in hand, the seller is ready to make a deal with a serious buyer. Now, the seller does make it clear that they're not interested in lowball offers or negotiations over the phone. They want a serious buyer who's ready to talk price in person with cash in hand. That might be a bit of a hurdle for some, but it also shows that the seller values their classic car and isn't desperate to sell. Overall, this 1967 Cadillac DeVille seems like an incredible opportunity for the right buyer. With its excellent condition, fresh restoration work, and clean title, it's a car that's sure to turn heads and provide plenty of enjoyment on the road. If you've got the budget and the appreciation for classic American luxury, this DeVille might just be the one for you. 15. We've got a real gem to showcase from the world of Craigslist, a stunning 1972 Cadillac Eldorado. This beauty is currently listed at $14,000, and based on the seller's description, it might just be a dream come true for the right collector. First and foremost, let's talk about the mileage on this Eldorado. The seller claims that it has only 45,000 actual miles on the odometer. That's incredibly low for a car that's nearly 50 years old. It suggests that this Cadillac has been cherished and well maintained throughout its life, which is a huge plus for any potential buyer. The seller describes the condition of the car as excellent, and they provide some compelling details to back that up. They mention that the car is very clean and solid, both inside and out. That's exactly what you want to hear when you're considering a classic car purchase. No one wants to deal with rust, damage, or shoddy interiors. But it's not just about looks. This Eldorado also performs like a champ. The seller states that it runs and drives great, which is crucial for a car that you want to actually enjoy on the road. With a powerful 8-cylinder engine under the hood and a smooth automatic transmission, this Cadillac is ready to cruise in style. The seller also emphasizes the collector value of this Eldorado. With such low miles and a clean title, it's a car that's sure to turn heads and appreciate in value over time. The seller even goes as far as to say that this Cadillac is absolutely beautiful and a super nice clean car inside and out. That kind of enthusiasm is always a good sign when you're buying a classic. Of course, as with any Craigslist purchase, it's important to do your due diligence. While the seller's description is certainly enticing, it's always a good idea to inspect the car thoroughly in person and ask any questions you might have. But if everything checks out, this 1972 Cadillac Eldorado could be an incredible addition to any collection. With its low miles, excellent condition, and head-turning style, this Eldorado is a true standout. If you've got the budget and the appreciation for classic American luxury, this might just be the car of your dreams. 16. We've got a real treat for you. A 1973 Ford Thunderbird that's currently available on Craigslist for just $8,500. This isn't just any old T-Bird though. Based on the seller's description, this car has been lovingly restored and upgraded, making it a true standout on the road. First off, let's talk about the condition of this Thunderbird. The seller describes it as good, and the details they provide certainly back that up. The car has been garaged for most of its life, first in Tennessee and then in Michigan, which has helped preserve its original Emerald Fire metallic green paint and vinyl-covered roof. That's a color combo that's sure to turn heads. But it's not just about looks with this T-Bird. The seller has put a lot of work into making sure it runs and drives like a dream. The original numbers-matching powertrain includes a 460 CID V8 engine and a C6 3-speed automatic transmission that's been completely rebuilt. The seller even goes as far as to say that it shifts as smooth as the leather on the seats. That's the kind of attention to detail that you love to see in a classic car. But the upgrades don't stop there. The suspension has been completely overhauled with new springs, shocks, rubber bushings, and ball joints. The underbody and frame have been coated with Pure 15 for added protection, and the brakes have been upgraded with slotted front discs and Willwood rear discs for modern stopping power. Under the hood, you'll find even more impressive upgrades, like an Edelbrock AVS carburetor, a brand new MSD Pro billet distributor, and a Champion aluminum radiator with twin electric fans. The exhaust has been upgraded with a Flowmaster system, and there's even a new interstate battery to keep everything running smoothly. Inside, the original power features like AC, brakes, steering, windows, and seats are all in good working condition. And the seller has added some modern touches, like a retro sound AM/FM system with Bluetooth, surround sound speakers, and a powered subwoofer. There's even a Viper security system with remote keyless entry for added peace of mind. Overall, this 1973 Ford Thunderbird seems like an incredible value at just $8,500. With its original style, impressive upgrades, and loving restoration, it's a car that's sure to provide plenty of fun and enjoyment on the road. The seller even mentions that you'll get lots of thumbs up from other folks while cruising in this 51-year-old Big Bird. 17. All right, let's dive a little deeper into this 1963 Mercury Breezeway. As a car enthusiast, I know how important it is to get all the details before making a decision on a classic ride like this. One of the standout features of this particular Breezeway is its transmission. The seller mentions that it has an automatic transmission, which is great news for those who prefer a more laid-back driving experience. With an automatic, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride without worrying about shifting gears. Another aspect that caught my eye is the car's odometer reading. At just 53,000 miles, this Breezeway has relatively low mileage for its age. While it's not uncommon for classic cars to have lower mileage due to limited use over the years, it's still a good sign that this car hasn't been overworked or subjected to excessive wear and tear. The seller also mentions that the car has a clean title, which is always a relief when purchasing a used vehicle. A clean title indicates that the car hasn't been in any major accidents, doesn't have any outstanding liens, and isn't a salvage vehicle. This peace of mind is invaluable when investing in a classic car. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price. At $12,000, this Mercury Breezeway is not the cheapest classic car on the market. However, it's important to consider the car's condition, originality, and the work that's already been put into it. The seller has made several updates to ensure the car is roadworthy, and the overall condition seems to be excellent. In the world of classic cars, finding a well-maintained, mostly original example like this one can be a challenge, so the price may be justified for the right buyer. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's crucial to do your due diligence before making a final decision. If you're seriously interested in this Mercury Breezeway, I recommend arranging a viewing and inspection with the seller. Take the time to look over the car thoroughly, ask questions about its history and maintenance, and even consider bringing along a trusted mechanic to assess its condition. In summary, this 1963 Mercury Breezeway is a stunning classic car that appears to be in excellent shape. With its big block engine, automatic transmission, low mileage, and clean title, it has a lot to offer for the right buyer. While the price may be a bit steep for some, it's not unreasonable considering the car's condition and originality. If you're ready to make this breezeway your own, be sure to do your research and approach the purchase with a discerning eye. Who knows? You might just end up cruising down the road in your very own piece of automotive history. 18. We've got a real treat for you. A 1983 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $6,500. This iconic ride is a true representation of the luxury and style that Cadillac is known for. And it could be yours if you act fast. First off, let's talk about the condition of this beauty. The seller mentions that it's a good, solid car with only light surface rust, which is pretty impressive for a vehicle that's been around for over 4 decades. The only notable issue is some rust on the inside of the trunk lid, but that's a relatively minor problem that can be addressed down the line. Under the hood, you'll find a robust 8-cylinder engine that's ready to provide all the power you need for cruising down the highway in style. The car has also been recently upgraded with new tires, shocks, springs, radio, and speakers, so you can enjoy a smooth and comfortable ride with all the modern conveniences you'd expect. One of the standout features of this Fleetwood Brougham is its low mileage. With just 63,000 original miles on the odometer, this car has been gently used and well maintained throughout its life. It's a testament to the quality and durability of these classic Cadillacs. The seller does mention a couple of minor issues that potential buyers should be aware of. The car is currently running on an R inspection sticker due to an issue with the reverse lights, but this is something that can likely be fixed with a little bit of tinkering. Additionally, there are some small leaks in the power steering and transmission fluids, but the seller has new gaskets ready to be installed to address these problems. It's important to keep in mind that this Cadillac is not a show car. It's a 41-year-old classic that has been well maintained and cared for, but it's not perfect. If you're looking for a flawless concours-level vehicle, this may not be the one for you. However, if you're in the market for a solid, reliable classic that runs and drives nicely, this 1983 Fleetwood Brougham is definitely worth considering. Now, let's talk about the price. The seller is firm on their asking price of $6,500, and they make it clear that they're not interested in entertaining lower offers. While this may seem like a lot for a car with a few minor issues, it's actually a pretty fair price for a well-maintained classic Cadillac with low mileage. These cars are becoming increasingly rare and desirable, and finding one in this condition at this price point is not an opportunity that comes along every day. If you're serious about making this Fleetwood Brougham your own, I recommend reaching out to the seller and arranging a time to see the car in person. Take it for a test drive, inspect it thoroughly, and ask any questions you may have about its history and condition. With a little bit of TLC and some minor repairs, this classic Cadillac could be the pride and joy of your garage for years to come. 19. All right, let's dive a little deeper into this 1977 Chevrolet Camaro. The 70s were a golden era for American muscle cars, and the Camaro was one of the most iconic nameplates of the decade. This particular example seems to have been well cared for over the years, with its low mileage and excellent condition. The 5.0-liter V8 engine is a true powerhouse, likely delivering a throaty rumble that'll make your heart skip a beat every time you fire it up. Paired with the automatic transmission, this Camaro should offer a perfect balance of performance and comfort, making it a great choice for cruising down the highway or tearing up the back roads. The yellow exterior is a classic color for the Camaro, and it's sure to grab attention wherever you go. Whether you're rolling up to a car show or just running errands around town, this Camaro is bound to turn heads and spark conversations. Inside, you can expect the vintage charm of a classic 70s interior with all the original features that make these cars so special. The seller mentions that everything works, which is a big plus when it comes to classic cars. You'll be able to enjoy the full experience of driving a vintage Camaro without worrying about faulty components or malfunctioning systems. Of course, as with any classic car purchase, it's crucial to do your due diligence. While the seller claims the Camaro is in excellent condition, it's always wise to have a trusted mechanic inspect the vehicle before making a final decision. This can help you uncover any potential issues and ensure that you're getting a car that's as good as advertised. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car with loads of character and style, this 1977 Chevrolet Camaro is definitely worth checking out. With its low mileage, clean title, and excellent condition, it could be the perfect addition to your garage. So, if you've got $11,000 burning a hole in your pocket and a love for vintage Detroit iron, why not take a chance and see if this Camaro is the one for you? 20. We've got a real treat for those who love classic American utility vehicles with a sporty twist. I'm talking about a 1985 Chevrolet El Camino SS that's up for grabs on Craigslist for $10,000. This El Camino is a rare find, as it's one of only 2,200 produced, making it a true collector's item. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 350 cubic inch V8 engine that's been bored 60 over, giving it some extra oomph. The engine is topped with an Edelbrock high-rise intake manifold and a 650 CFM Edelbrock carburetor, ensuring that this El Camino has plenty of power to spare. Headers and a new exhaust system help the engine breathe freely and deliver a throaty rumble that's sure to turn heads. The seller mentions that the drivetrain has less than 6,000 miles on it, which is a big plus. The transmission is an automatic, making this El Camino easy to drive and perfect for cruising. Plus, with a posit-raction rear end, you'll have plenty of traction when you need it. The exterior of this El Camino is equipped with stylish Corvette rally wheels, giving it a sporty look that sets it apart from the crowd. The seller also notes that the rockers are solid, which is important for the structural integrity of the vehicle. Inside, you'll find the original interior, complete with power seats and windows for added comfort and convenience. The air conditioning blows cold, ensuring that you'll stay cool and comfortable even on the hottest summer days. Now, while the seller doesn't explicitly mention any issues, it's always a good idea to thoroughly inspect a classic vehicle before making a purchase. With 42,000 miles on the odometer and a clean title, this El Camino seems to be in good shape, but it's still wise to have a trusted mechanic take a look to ensure there aren't any hidden problems. Overall, if you're in the market for a rare, sporty, and practical classic vehicle, this 1985 Chevrolet El Camino SS is definitely worth considering. With its powerful engine, solid drivetrain, and original interior, it's got a lot to offer. Plus, with only 2,200 produced, you'll be driving a piece of automotive history. So, if you've got $10,000 to spend and a love for unique American classics, why not take a closer look at this El Camino? It might just be the perfect addition to your garage.